Almost every season, some quarterback draft prospect starts the year off as a late-round pick, but by the time the draft rolls around, they've skyrocketed up draft boards, which always leaves fans feeling like this when mock drafts start dropping.
Who the fuck are you?
J.J. McCarthy was that quarterback last year, and no one could have seen that rise coming. Well, no one but us.
I can see him doing well for sure. I think he's gonna be like a top 15 pick. Do you agree with that?
I can agree with that. Especially
when we recorded that draft profile, McCarthy was still considered a day 3 pick and a handoff merchant. I mention that not because I want to inflate our egos, but to point out there's always diamonds in the rough, and if you dig through the tape, you might just strike gold. It's a similar feeling to when you hear a new artist on Spotify, or you see them at a small club, and you know they're going to be great, so until they finally make it, it feels like you're sitting on the world's best secret. Well, this year we want to share that feeling with you before the college season really starts getting underway. We've picked 3 guys who are relative unknowns that we think are going to be household names by the end of the year. And we believe one of them might even make a push to be the number 1 overall pick.
Let's start with a name that you have probably already heard just to ease into this. And that name is Miller Moss from USC. Caleb Williams opted out of the Holiday Bowl to prepare for the NFL draft. Therefore, it was Miller's time for the Trojans. He put on a tall boy-sized performance in his lone college start, throwing for 372 yards and 6 touchdowns against the 16th ranked Louisville team in the Holiday Bowl. Because of his performance, he was the presumed starter for USC going into this season and was officially named the starter back on August 19th. But after 3 seasons of being stuck in the back of the freezer, he's still relatively unknown. So why are we buzzing off him? After watching the film on his Holiday Bowl performance, we were left thinking Purdy thoughts.
Joke. It's bad and you should feel bad.
Yeah, that's a bad pun, but the point remains. He should put up incredible numbers this year because he's great at dealing the ball out, and he is paired with electric playmakers like Zachariah Branch and Deuce Robinson at USC. Hence why we're feeling the buzz from Miller. But there is an obvious concern. The guy has started just 1 game in his college career. For all that we know, that game could have been an outlier, and the tap will run out quickly this season. But call us lightweights because that one performance by Miller has gotten us wasted. I wouldn't be surprised to see Miller talked about as a first-round talent if he performs like how we think he can.
However, Miller isn't the only former backup making the most of his shot. This is Garrett Greene from West Virginia, home of Pat McAfee. He's the highest graded returning quarterback in the Big 12. Last year, he received a higher grade than Drake May, Shedeur Sanders, and Caleb Williams. If you've never heard of Garrett until now, you're not alone. We only found him because of a TikTok someone made of his highlights. That TikTok caught our attention so much, we had to look up his numbers and see if he was legit. Not only did he finish with the 8th highest grade last year, but he also finished 1st in big time throw percentage, pressure to sack ratio, and 3rd in average depth to target. He had wowed us with the numbers, therefore we knew we had to see him play. We pulled up 3 games of his from last year, and the tape backed the stats. What we saw is this dude is simply a certified playmaker. He has a strong arm that makes outside the hash passes look effortless, which isn't surprising considering he is the son of a former MLB catcher and played the position himself in high school. Greene uses that strong arm to drop perfect deep balls with the necessary touch and accuracy. He can consistently go through reads and get the ball to the open receiver in time. To cap it off, he has a legit set of wheels on him, making him a great dual threat quarterback. However, there is a major flaw that stuck out in the stat sheet and in the film. He has an accuracy problem. He finished 93rd out of all quarterbacks in completion percentage last season, and on tape, there are many overthrown balls. However, to be fair to him, he isn't getting a whole lot of help around him. His receivers dropped almost 11% of the passes thrown their way. Good for the 10th highest percentage in college. When his receivers weren't actively trying to cost him games, he was stuck throwing the ball away because no one was getting open. I would love to see him improve his accuracy this season and sneak onto an NFL roster to develop more. His skill set reminds me a lot of Doug Flutie or Baker Mayfield, and he could be exciting if he reaches his potential in the NFL.
Speaking of potential, I know everyone has Shedeur Sanders penciled in as the top quarterback prospect of the 2025 draft class, but I would actually like to throw a challenge flag on that. I think Arizona quarterback Noah Fifita has a legitimate shot to hurdle Sanders. In case you missed it, national powerhouse Arizona finished last season 3rd in the Pac-12 with a 9-3 record, better than USC, Utah, and Colorado. That record earned them a spot in the Alamo Bowl, where they dominated 12th ranked Oklahoma. Fifita's performance in that game made us want to do more research on him. The first numbers that stuck out to us when we checked the box scores was 527 and 6. Those numbers are the amount of yards and touchdowns he put up against Arizona State. He went scorched earth on the Sun Devils. Therefore, we knew that we just had to see if he is as impressive as the numbers say, or is he just a one-game wonder? After watching him go head-to-head with Michael Penix Jr. in his first start, and even out-duel Jair Sanders and Boulder, a controversial player comp was starting to become apparent, but we had to confirm it with one more game before making any kind of claim. We turned on the game against USC, and watching them kind of play side by side confirmed it for us. His play is almost identical to Caleb Williams. I know that sounds bold, but hear me out on this one. Their ability to improv, the way they can throw on the run with accuracy, and even the way they can throw from different arm slots are tantalizingly similar. They both have exceptional arm talent that allows them to play the game in a way only a few can. But there are still some obvious differences. The biggest is that Caleb is 2 inches taller and 30 pounds heavier. That can be huge for guys who like to move around the pocket and make plays with their legs. How many times do we see Caleb run through arm tackles and fight for extra yardage? Noah's probably not run over too many NFL level guys. I would also say Caleb has a stronger arm, but outside of those differences, the similarities are uncanny. Will Noah Fifita be able to challenge Sanders to be the overall top quarterback? We won't know for another couple months. But if he does, just remember who told you first.
So, those are the 3 quarterbacks we'll be keeping our eyes on this season. Let us know down in the comment section who you think is going to shoot up draft boards this year. Don't forget to click that subscribe button to stay in the loop on other underrated players who we'll be talking about. Thank you so much for watching. We are the RFL Show, and we'll be seeing you in the next video.